The eye of the tiger. Doom, 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 doom. Now listen, this is about XXY talk. I've just put out a plea, as in many pleas. So please, I would really like to be back on XXY talk. Millions of reasons why. First reason would be just because I need to be able to read what other people are talking about. That's important for me because I'm talking to too many people on the internet, and I have no access to xxytalk.com. My IP address is obviously banned, and I really need it to be unbanned so that I can at least read the stuff that other people are writing. That is very important for our community in the whole. And I suppose another reason is, that we're not all the same XXYs, and so it is important to have and show and allow the diversity to be. And xxytalk.com, I've always felt that it's the best place that was created on the internet. I think the setup is very good. It looks good. And there's all sorts of functions on it as well. You can do the polls, and I really miss doing polls, asking other XXYs questions and giving them appropriate answers to answer. And I noticed that a lot of polls that are done, and polls I mean by asking a question and giving A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H answers. And I have to say that I am very good at that. And let's see. Blowing my own trumpet. Yes. The only situation that people had problems with, let's put it this way, that my posts were very long. They kept complaining about that my posts were very long. But actually I realise now that and everybody else should probably realise too, that there actually are a lot of people out there who do extremely long posts, as well as me. So it wasn't just me. And so I think that should be, if you don't want to read a long post, then don't read it. But allow people the opportunity to express themselves however they're going to do it. I came on to XXY Talk at the start as a natural user of bad language. Because from Ireland, the F word is used all the time. I won't use it now, just so that nobody gets put off. But, I would use the F word, the B word, the W word, and all the other letters of the alphabet words a lot. And then it was pointed out to me by another Irish XXY, hi man, that person, said, well, Gavin, I'm from Ireland as well, and I don't use that language. So my excuse was taken from me. So I did, censor myself. With the use of bad language. I didn't not use bad language, sometimes I did. So that's a point. Then there's the other point of my anti-American kind of vibe. I mean, I can't get rid of that. Americans do drive me mad in a lot of ways. They annoy me, they irritate me, their attitudes annoy me. Not everybody's, not every Americans. I mean, I have so many American friends here and all over the world, so it's not all Americans. But it's just like saying Irish people are alcoholics. You can generalise on that point, because you'd be mostly right. So that's straying off the point, isn't it? Yeah, I should have done points, because this is very important for XXY Talk members, and for myself. There's only a few people on XXY Talk that really don't like me. I mean, they would go as so far to say that they hate me. Now, I wouldn't say that I hate any of them. I would say, I don't hate any of my haters. I sympathise with them. I honestly do. I honestly sympathise with them. I think that, that's a serious problem. Having a problem with somebody you don't know across the waves of the internet. And, not everybody has that skill to deal with all sorts of people. I'm an entertainer, I'm on stage, people are drunk normally when they're watching me. I'm a very good adapter and diplomat type person. And plus, I'm very risk-taking as well. I do go into situations where there's technical tratsies, which people call Nazis, I call them tratsies, And, if I went into the tratsie situation, then, that's putting my life at risk, my body, my everything. But there's something about me. They get it. They just get it from me. I'm very good at that. I'm very good at calming people down, but not very good, obviously, explaining myself in blogs. So, by the way, this video isn't for xxytalk, but obviously, if anybody from xxytalk.com is watching this, then please keep watching, because I want to be back on xxytalk.com. It's been too long. 20 months, is it? I've been off testosterone the same amount of time that I've been kicked off xxytalk.com, and I want, this is not big-headed, the next statement, but I really do want to save xxytalk.com. I think it was a great idea from Rick in the first place, Rick Ellis, to set up xxytalk.com. A brilliant idea. And it was fairly flexible, because Rick himself is a religious homosexual, and he's a million other things apart from being a homosexual. But just for the point of, a lot of religious people have problems with homosexuals, Rick is a religious homosexual. So because of that, it was a much more open site to the other available XXY forum chat places on the net. What I think is important is to have a huge community of XXYs in their thousands, and have different types of communities going on in that forum, meaning different languages: French, Spanish, Russian, Chinese, English, Irish, whatever, have different languages, and have different groups of people, so that the people that like to curse and use bad language can simply be there in that section, cursing the hell out of each other, blah blah. I mean, we could have a war zone. We could have a specified forum area called the war zone, where we could talk about all sorts of controversial stuff. And if people like to argue, then go in there, but just don't bring it out of there. And my second little idea for a forum section, and I always mentioned this, especially when I was just banned at the time 2 years ago, I said that if we have problems with members, such as myself, I used myself as that example, that when we have problems with members, if they're being disobedient, if they're not listening, if they're not going with the set down rules that were explained to them, if they are putting down somebody, if they're bullying somebody, whatever, if they're threatening somebody, we stick them in a section called the quarantined sin bin. I don't know if you watch rugby, people, but rugby, the players, if they do a bad move, they don't get a yellow card, they get sin binned, meaning they get off the pitch for 10 minutes. And I would suggest the same kind of idea in xxytalk.com, and actually in every forum site all over the world. You shouldn't be kicking people off, you should be keeping people in the community. Kicking people off sends them to prison in a certain way, and it certainly sends them to prison in their mind. They're left alone to think for themselves, and that is not good in this society. Everybody needs support. Everybody needs to be cared for. Everybody needs to be looked after, to an extent. And I am a very huge encourager, and I would have hoped, and I hope that many people have seen that with my videos over these 2 years. I got kicked off xxytalk. I tried to join again with other accounts, maybe 3 or 4 different accounts, and every time, and I never posted those accounts. Oh no, one account I did post with. I did threaten that I'd set up 2,000 or 3,000 pseudo accounts, so that they wouldn't have a clue how many members they have. If they're going to kick me off as one member, then I'm going to falsely raise the numbers of members, because that seemed to be what they wanted. They wanted more members instead of quality. Quantity, not quality. I also want to say a big hello to all the enemies out there, and I'm going to name you right now, because I want to name you so that you'll come here and you'll discuss it with me and talk about it. And here would be the best place to talk about it, in the open, where I've got friends who watch my videos, and they're not going to attack you. None of my friends attack the people that come and criticize me. There's very few people that come and criticise me, by the way. But my friends who will read your comments or watch your video responses, if you dare to do it. I doubt if you'll dare to do it, but I dare you to do it. Please do it. Just before I run out of time, I want to name 3 names, because you're the most important enemies that I have from xxytalk. You're the most important because you're the most sensitive and aggressive and angry. The 3 of you are, and I wouldn't even put you in like first place, second place, third place. And this is not a dig, but this is just to simply, we've got to clear the air. We've got to iron out the creases. I've got 25 seconds, 20 seconds now to tell these 3 names. Don't get insulted or personally attacked or anything like that, but it needs to come out in the open. First, and not first in the list, Andre Lorek. You're a complete name. I want to talk to you. Oneinco, you are absolutely anonymous. I have no idea of your name, but I want to talk to you too. And of course, Rick Ellis. Ciao.